Hello everyone and welcome to the 6th episode, the 5th lesson, Spam Traps and Honey Traps. And in terms of introduction, I don't think I need to introduce us anymore. What do you think, Florian?
Yeah, I agree. Hi, Anthony.
Hi there,
I did
Florian.
it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a lovely moustache there. I think
Yeah,
it's good to see that return onto the show.
yeah. It's just too popular. It was just a joke originally, but it's too popular. I can't avoid that. Uh,
No, exactly. And
that's why I came back.
I especially like the Mexican backdrop that you've got there.
Actually, it's not really Mexican,
No, I
but
know.
it looks a bit like it's a closet that was painted by my by my grandfather. So originally, I don't know if you know that it's a tradition, obviously, or has been in the past, that when you are marrying, that you're painting some closet, and that's for my grandparents. You can see that's the letters, initial letters. Can you
I
see
didn't know
that?
that tradition. That's
You
nice.
you can see that.
No,
You see a
well, I can
different
see.
camera. Yeah,
Yes,
you will see later. Yeah.
nice one. Okay, cool. And so everyone back onto the same page, right? So this lesson is in regards to spam traps. So we've had a look at prevention of spam techniques last lesson. So here we want to talk a bit about spam traps, what they are, how to avoid them. And so I think the point from the start is deliverability. In fact, a lot of it evolves around the quality of the database and the list hygiene. That terminology, list hygiene, is what we refer to as the database and how you take care of it.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the questions is, how can ISPs make sure that you are tidying up your list? In the end, what's the goal of an ISP? The goal of an ISP is make the user experience as good as possible in order to keep you at those services. And one of the parts that contributes to a good user experience is that you actually subscribe to the emails that you get. And spam traps, so there's two different kinds of spam traps, and they have different purpose or different origin, but the goal is the same. They want to make sure that you are following best practices. So can you say a bit more about the two types?
Yeah, sure. So I think the two that you're referring to, in fact, we had a little debate. So I would say pure spam trap, aka pristine spam trap, and also a recycled spam trap. So a pure spam trap is designed where the ISP actually creates an email address or a spam trap, and actually for the sole purpose of it being used as a spam trap. So for example, if any emails are addressed to that email address, the ISP then knows for sure the sender or whoever has got hold of that address must be spamming, or at least they're not, let's say, tightening up on their sign up process. The other type, a recycled spam trap, is where the more common one is where, say, you have an email address for 6 months, you don't use it, and then it goes inactive, where the ISP then turns that into a spam trap. So this one's harder to let's say spot. Well, not harder, but it just means that you have to, and we'll talk a bit more about this, basically keep your address book and database fresh. So you have to get rid of these inactive addresses.
Yeah, so exactly. So in the end, spam traps, and no matter if they are pristine or recycled or pure, whatever, are just email addresses. Just normal email addresses that you should not send mail to. And I was just smiling because when you were talking about the recycled traps, I thought about my lot of test addresses that I personally keep, and some of them, if I'm totally honest, I'm not logging in for longer times. So could be that some of them have turned into spam traps already, and this would also mean on a backside that my personal seed lists could not be the perfect ones anymore. So I should try to keep that in mind. Otherwise, I would challenge our systems, our own systems, if they are if they are
Exactly.
blocking
And
those addresses one
and
day.
if you logged into them, yeah, as you say, there'd be, you dare say there would be some emails addressed to them, particularly those clients that are not sending emails or whatnot. So I think, yeah, it's another point to take away from this is not just what type of spam trap there is. In fact, it's the damage it has on your database. In fact, your reputation. So you know you're sending emails to your database. You're hitting many spam traps each time. Now that will have a negative impact on your reputation, which means that your genuine emails, the recipients that want the content of your email, the newsletter perhaps, or offer or a letter, they won't be able to receive that email, so it might go to their junk folder. So this is the real impact of it. So it's you must maintain your list, otherwise you will find the junk folder.
Yeah, exactly. So if you ask yourself the question, what can I do now in order to avoid spam traps? That's it's quite easy for few spam traps. You should just accept new email addresses that have signed up. And if you want to have it really 100% sure, you need to use double opt-in, which we cover in the next episode, which means basically people that have subscribed need to confirm that they really are who they pretend to be and that they have control over the email address. So then you can make sure that you're not sending to somebody to a spam trap, because a spam trap would not do that. A spam trap would never confirm the opt-in. Secondly, for the recycled spam traps, you just need to clean up your list regularly, which means if somebody is not opening email for a longer time or afterwards sending hard bounces, stop sending to this address and do not try to send after 3 months or 6 months reactivation campaign. Just stop it. It's over. And if you respect that, then you don't have any problem with spam traps, which are not harming your reputation afterwards. One common question that comes up in this topic, and I would like to ask your opinion about that, is are spam traps opening emails? There's a few discussions about that. What's your comment on that?
I think the most devious of spam traps open emails, and rightly so. Right, I think the whole point of a spam trap is it's not only testing if a client is looking after their list, it's actually looking at how data is getting into their list. So, for example, the spam trap, if for example it does open and click, it doesn't mean that they've given you permission to send to their address. So for me, I think that it's a bit of both. What do you think about it? And by the way, let me just say, what's a honey trap?
A honey trap?
Yeah.
I think that's the same. It's just a different name. Honey or honey pot, honey trap means that it's like a honeypot where bees fly around and would go into that bucket. So my understanding of honey traps is that people try to populate addresses, spam traps, like mentioning them in forums or whatever, somewhere in the internet, so that people that are doing not the cleanest business on earth, collecting the addresses, harvesting them, and send email to them so that they are identified. I think that's what honey traps mean.
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with that?
Yeah, you got me. My imagery there, I was just thinking of loads of email marketers being beekeepers for some reason. Anyway, back on topic. You got me lost there for a second. But yes, I agree with what you're saying, and also I think this to talk too much about spam traps, etc. This will actually take on to our next topic, which is in regards to opt-in. So single opt-in, double opt-in, and confirmed opt-in. These are all methods, in fact, we can use to prevent these issues from happening. I think they're the closing notes. Would you like to add anything else, Florian?
Yeah, this time we have forgotten one topic. So we need to help our guys who have actually problems. So what would you say if somebody is watching our nice video and say, well, I'm a good guy, but I do have spam traps in my list. I don't know why they have been there forever, and I just want to get rid of them. How can we help them? What's your what would you say? What can you do?
Send us your logs. No, I think if you, yeah, I mean, for sure we're happy to help. If you have a type of scenario, perhaps we can go through that and look at how we would troubleshoot it. In fact, how would we look to identify the spam trap? And in fact, if it's a common issue, so yeah, if you have any points on that, please comment and we'll check it out.
I would also say it's not really about identifying the traps, because the traps that you identify are just, of course, they are harming your reputation, but in fact it means that your list itself has a problem. So if you want to get rid of the traps, what it actually means is you need to clean your list, which means you need to check activity of your recipients and suppress the inactive ones, only send to active ones. If you're not 100% sure about your opt-in, do a reconfirmation. So do a reconfirmation campaign, like saying, here we are, and you've been subscribing to our service in the past, and if you would like to receive emails in the future as well, please click on this confirmation link. Of course, this means that you will lose some addresses, but it also means that you have a much better quality afterwards, and that's the price you must pay for that. And if that's worth the risk or matches your cost, that's the question that you must answer yourself. That's my closing notes for that brilliant topic. I like that.
I think I don't need to add much more to that. So thanks, Florian, for that, and thanks everyone for listening. And we shall see you next week.
Yeah, see you
next week.
It must be sunny next week, I've heard. Let's see.
It's spring now. Times are changing.
I have some issues with my glue. So see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.